The awakening of the chosen. Looking about us, it is difficult not to feel the practically physical impression of immense upheaval we live in. One expects something great and transforming to be about to unveil itself. Many times, these changes touch elements that challenge even the most logical scientific explanations, beyond the boundaries of what is observable and physical. This sense of approaching change is not solitary. It is related to phenomena we may label divine, like the blackout, the action of Archangel Michael, and the modification of bodily waking. Though they seem to happen separately, each of these incidents is really a component of a larger divine design determining the course of Earth. Consider our part in this situation, and it's amazing. The so-called selected ones among us have a vital role to participate in this epic story. And when we discuss chosen ones, we are not speaking about figures from far-off stories or legends. We discuss common people like you and me here. Those who maybe lack complete awareness are already vibrating at higher frequencies, bearing the energy of guides, guardians, and inspirational speakers. These people are essentially those that stick to their values and radiate brightness even when everything around them appears to be covered in gloom. Our shift is not confined to just physical changes and disturbances in the natural world. Above all, it is a great energy cleaning. We are invited, that is, summoned, to increase our vibration and connect ourselves with a far more expansive calling that speaks beyond the here and now and material. In the middle of all this, the presence of a stronger power becomes evident and gently leads us towards this energetic readjustment. This process plays out from the inside out and reflects in our contact with the cosmos we live in. This trip helps us to find harmony and balance not just with our deepest selves, but also with the planet we live on. Understanding these periods of transition helps us to appreciate how important they are for the complete development of mankind. This is a moment to consider our own capacity for adaptation and incorporation of these developments into our daily life. This is the need of realizing the energy all around us and of learning how to maximize them for both group and personal welfare. Though many of us may not be quite conscious that we are already actively contributing to these changes, the truth is that every one of us is in some form part of this river of rejuvenation. This time appears to provide an unparalleled chance for us to develop spiritually, strengthen our relationship with higher dimensions constantly waiting for us. It is as if a door opened, beckoning us to go toward our actual self, the one that watches and interacts in the world not just via reason, but also by the sense of connection and universal love. This period of change tests us to see not just our own responsibility, but also our fundamental part in something much more than ourselves. Thinking about this makes me feel a great feeling of luxury and responsibility, that is, of existing in a moment with transforming possibilities. Realizing that the decisions we make, the vibrations we create, and the activities we do not only determine our own fate, but also the fabric of our shared destiny. This brings inherent beauty. Though for many this calling may feel frightening, we have to keep in mind that we are not alone. These times of transformation allow each of us to ground our support system, both spiritual and communal. Knowing that we are on this road together and facing identical goals and difficulties helps us to grow. Inspired by the tales of the past, by those who have trodden difficult routes before us, and by the voices of the wise that still resound throughout time, we might lead ourselves toward a new period of enlightenment and knowledge. Ultimately, our relationship to the earth, the divine, and one another will help us to survive. These are, after all, moments when we should be reminded of the need of keeping a calm and clear inner vision while we negotiate the transforming waves. And therefore, as go advance, may we do with open hearts, ready to welcome the light and wisdom these turbulent times provide. Every difficulty we encounter as we keep along this road of enlightenment has the potential to be a teaching tool, a step towards a better knowledge of the planet and ourselves. During times of change, we are constantly urged to let go of past behaviors and ideas that no longer benefit us. Since deviating from what is known is never a simple chore, this calls for bravery from us. But it is just in this act of letting go that we create room for the new, therefore allowing fresh energies to enter and flow in our life. Archangel Michael's presence and the continuous spiritual activity act as a strong reminder of our assistance at all phases of this road. Especially at times when the gloom appears to rule, the belief that spiritual powers are guiding us may be a lighthouse. Selected in their capacity as mediators and guides, these people serve to channel this energy of protection and clarity, therefore enabling more aware and harmonic manifestation of these changes. Considering how these people could show up in our life, a buddy, a mentor, or even those apparently random meetings that alter our viewpoint, makes one curious. Deeper exploration of these experiences helps us to see how closely all the events and people in our life interact. Every contact presents a potential for spiritual development. Nothing occurs by accident. Our present objective transcends the personal. It is part of a group movement aiming at increasing human awareness. Though it is not new, the idea of a rising collective awareness has never been more reachable than it is right now, when every one of us can help, no matter how little or big our activity is. We are expected to be conscientious and cultivate discernment, a difficult chore indeed, but one rich with great spiritual benefit. This entails being receptive to love, developing empathy, and realizing that even little acts of kindness may have an impact on life in ways we never could have predicted. When dispersed, this good vibration has the ability to significantly change the surroundings. The most important thing on this road is that we remain real and true to what speaks to us. We shall be summoned to discover our own center of balance, the inner light guiding and motivating tool. One does not have to follow this road by himself. Spiritual community, this place where we may interact and meditate together, is always a source of inspiration and help. Finding times of stillness and introspection lets us give ourselves the time to just be, which helps us to have the strength to smoothly combine various changes. Perhaps as our chat draws to a close today, we could question ourselves. In what ways might I be a lighthouse in the life of those close by? How can I help to mark this outstanding period of change? Every spiritual seeker, I think, can relate to these questions. Though it might be difficult, reframing every experience is very gratifying. Ultimately, what counts is that we keep walking in trust and let the trip change us in ways that beyond our most basic comprehension. With an open heart and a clear head, let us keep together and negotiate the turns life offers us. We live in a unique time when we are called to actively engage in a metamorphosis that connects in every strand of our life. When we discuss a blackout, we are not only describing the brief loss of power, but also a rare chance to release unwanted energy that have long plagued our area and inner well-being. In this scenario, Archangel Michael plays an absolutely remarkable role. He guides us into a condition of spiritual rebirth and conducts an unparalleled cleaning operation, shedding light on formerly dark areas. This cleaning is not just a spiritual luxury, it is also a necessary need that will help us to match the higher frequencies the cosmos is delivering. Many would see a change in bodily awakening as a sign of a change in consciousness, which is really a strong call to raise it. It's a seductive call to look beyond our own constraints and open our ears to the symphony of daily distractions. Know that this emotion is not just a fluke. If you have ever felt that there is something very bigger guiding and permeating your life, it is a surge of beckoning telling us constantly that we belong to something great and big. And every one of us anticipates this global metamorphosis that welcomes us now, so that we might be aware co-creators of the new world developing. We set out to investigate how we may not only participate in, but also guide this transformation in our own life in this video. Fundamental at this time is connecting and enhancing our spiritual trip. Our collective awareness is invited to join as one light to face the residual darkness of the past. Maybe never before in human memory have we come upon a turning point so clear-cut that it promises to transform all we know. The world is changing, and the energies all around us are reorganizing in ways that beyond simple explanation. Thus, Every one of us has the opportunity to actively engage in this reformulation. Our particular vibrations will help us to contribute to the entire. You should not undervalue your light. Rekindling hope in modern times depends on even a little spark. Our vibrations together produce a symphony of resonances echoing throughout eternity. Our spiritual path is a common act of compassion and togetherness, as much as a personal quest of understanding. It is time to follow this calling, as the decisions we make now will have significant and long-lasting effects on our life, as well as on the history of our planet. Every attitude we choose to embrace, every loving idea we foster, writes the future now. Ultimately, we are each part of a great tapestry of the cosmos, not separate singularities. It is both humble and motivating to realize how directly our lives affect the path the Earth will follow. Therefore, by deciding to welcome this period of transformation with bravery, we enable our souls to line up with the global healing and rejuvenation objective. We were selected and invited to be part of this amazing cosmic dance, not by accident. I hereby encourage you to go with me as a conscious agent of light, of hope, of transformation. We are not only changing our surroundings, but also reaching into a deeper knowledge and connection as we merge our hearts and brains toward this new reality. This is a plea to wake up to people of light, created to radiate in all their beauty. What is approaching is remarkable, and we have great opportunity to actively participate in this narrative developing under the heavens. Being cosmic navigators reminds us that life is a tapestry of events, and every decision we make is like a thread connecting our soul with the big global fabric. The planetary transformation we are now seeing transcends what is apparent. It is a complex network of minute energies that reorganize our fundamental core and what we might become. The simplicity and depth of this awakening make it beautiful. It is something we should experience at the most profound level of our being, rather than merely with the intellect. Opening our hearts and letting ourselves sense the vibrations of this new period helps us to be conduits for the expression of a more enlightened reality. Since any real change begins from the inside out, at this moment fostering introspection becomes very vital. It's not just about spotting out-of-date trends. It's also about substituting fresh approaches of living more in line with our great spiritual capacity. Combining this activity helps us to be ready to feel a more real connection with all the surroundings. This is definitely a call to liberate ourselves from the illusion's traps and come out stronger, clearer, more driven about the natural beauty of life. When we consider the effects of our decisions, we see how much every little act of compassion and generosity echoes throughout the planet. Archangel Michael's purifying mission reminds us that we are surrounded in a web of spiritual assistance meant to inspire and protect us at every level. This spiritual assistance helps us to be a source of bravery for everyone around us, therefore spreading knowledge and light. We let our own vibrations to be a gift to the planet as we start this amazing road of self-discovery. When we are uncertain or afraid, let us go back to our core. We shall discover the calm many of us yearn for, a tranquility not disturbed by the uncertainties of the outside world, but rather a serene realization we are immortal, connected in a dance throughout time. Every breath and every move toward truth and love is a strong statement of our will to totally awaken. It is a dedication to our spiritual nature, shining free from constraints and without doubt. Let us realize as we deepen our path that we co-create this spiritual rebirth. Furthermore, this co-creation lays the groundwork for future rather than just for today. In this situation, it is crucial to keep in mind the natural strength every one of us has, rather than becoming demoralized in the face of challenges. Everybody designs their own life, and when we cooperate, we create a society reflecting the noblest ideals in our hearts. May the unquestionable assurance that all we do out of love returns doubled accompany us as we finish this meditation. We create our fates together into the grand cosmic fabric of existence. Enclosed in the vitality of unquenchable love, we stroll boldly knowing that the light we shine within us is the same light guiding mankind into a future full of hope and intent. Such times of profound transformation remind us of the basic part that higher entities perform in the cosmic dance of the cosmos. Leading a great effort to clean the earth, Archangel Michael is a figure of strength and protection. It helps you to clear the thick energies trapping us in cycles of anxiety and inertia. You are not alone yourself on this road of rejuvenation. Other dimensions, including those from 𝖔READ, join him and lend their knowledge and quiet direction. They are spiritual instructors, providing gentle guidance and insights to help us to change our souls to fit the new paradigm that is presenting itself. The selected ones are individuals who, among humans, are inherently tuned in to those higher frequencies. They are very crucial in this story of change. They are active guides, clearing the path for others who cannot yet appreciate the scope of this spiritual transformation. They are not satisfied to just watch quietly. They assist and encourage those trying to follow the road of light, therefore helping to clear the uncertainty and anxiety that surface during change. Like beacons on a dark night, this era is beautiful in that it offers a great opportunity for spiritual and moral development in addition to testing mankind. Archangel Michael and the creatures of �READ help divine energies enable mankind to rethink the future. We are urged to be active co-creators, helping the earth renew and elevate its vibrations to a new frequency of love and harmony, not as viewers. Deeply in the strands of our being, this divine calling to action speaks to us. It motivates us to provide our own pure intentions, light, to help to create a more enlightened planet. Everyone has healing and transforming energies. All it takes is open our hearts and brains to get them. The need to mold the future is not far off or unattainable. It is rather present in the everyday decisions we make, in the words we use, in the ideas we develop. Everybody of us can help to improve the energy fabric of the earth. Our spiritual ascent finds a path thanks to the collective awareness of a worldwide awakening. Unquestionably, this calls for togetherness. Together with our selected peers and entities of light, we generate a strong field of change that permeates the planet. Cooperation and trust will be the keys to this roadmap. We are aware that this is not our alone task. Beyond what our bodily senses allow, there is a spiritual network of support. Working non-stop, spiritual masters and celestial guides have made sure we do not lose our road. Our hearts open to your direction helps us to tune in closer to the truth of our souls and let your pure love to greatly inspire us. And coexisting in the frequency of love and light helps us to be agents for the change we want to see in the world. This newly emerging spiritual age is a promise as well as an invitation. We are invited to confirm our major part in this global narrative of development and illumination. And by answering this call with passion and commitment, we are really laying the seeds for a brilliant future in which harmony and peace rule. The moment for action is now. With faith and bravery, we may together create a destiny rich in beauty and divine light, so quickly embracing the limitless potential assigned to us. We should understand the need of inner alignment as we keep on this road of great change. This is not a group procedure. Each of us begins this one alone. We must create an interior place of honesty and calm that speaks to the greatest frequencies in the cosmos. We shall be able to show major outside changes by means of this inner resonance. The selected ones, those who have already woken to this reality, have a great responsibility to maintain their own vibrations high, thereby motivating everyone around them to pursue the same height. Constant reminder that we are never alone is the beauty of following this road in line with entities like Archangel Michael and the �READ Guide. Unbelievably, there is assistance ready to help us gently steer through periods of uncertainty or hopelessness. This support is a lighthouse guiding us back to the light when we feel lost, and a spiritual anchor in turbulent times. Understanding that we are a part of a greater network of love and knowledge helps us to grow ahead with humility and drive as we are essential. The ability of example is maybe one of the best presents we can provide to others and ourselves. Living in line with the values and truths we know are basic for our spiritual development helps others to do the same. For those who deliberately decide to walk the road of light, our lives become living evidence of the opportunities that lie ahead. We are instructors, freely offering what we have learned and know to be true, in addition to pupils in the classroom of life. This real sharing benefits us, who have the honor of providing it as much as those who receive it. Above all, the change we are going through is a trip of self-awareness. We have the chance to grow inward and investigate the great dimensions of our own life, while the earth keeps increasing its vibration. We are urged continuously to find the ideal balance between our worldly selves and celestial essence, to challenge what it really means to be human and divine. Actually, it is this harmony that opens the riches of knowledge and love offered to us from time immemorial. When we are unsure, let us keep in mind that every difficulty presents chances for spiritual development. Difficulties bring us the inner power we are not always aware we have. Our drive to develop and change and our enthusiasm for life are kindled within of us. These sparks, nourished, become flames lighting the road of transformation. Our friends are endurance and compassion. With them, nothing is impossible. Let us preserve in our hearts the assurance that, driven by forces wishing only the best, we are on the correct road as we end our observations. Every day should help us to reach our best possible performance. With open arms and hearts, we are ready to greet the future, knowing that the changes we advocate in the world are just reflections of the changes occurring in our core. Here we are, ready to welcome the adventure, boundless and magnificent, which goes on. All our essence is here. In many respects, the coming technical blackout is a call to reflection. We come up against the core of what it is to be really present when we picture a society momentarily cut off from continual digital distractions. 3 days of electronic quiet at first feel overwhelming, but this time gives us the chance to reconnect with our inner selves and those we love, free from constant screen and notification interruption. Consider it as a soft reminder to straighten our priorities and rediscover the charm of sincere interpersonal contacts and introspection. This regeneration process depends much on solar flares, with their coronal mass ejections. Symbolically, it is as if the sun is guiding the earth toward the elimination of a thick layer of extinct energy. The magnetic waves meant to momentarily impede our electronic equipment serve a more celestial use than just generating anarchy. They help us to clear accumulated heavy energy from our communication systems. This active detox is crucial if we are to release ourselves from the unseen bonds of worry and fear that sometimes keep us from living fully. Regarding our feelings and the everyday bustle, this blackout reminds us strongly that more stronger forces are at work constantly for our shared well-being. The forced stop wakes us to see the need of developing inner peace. During moments of outward detachment, we are forced to discover creative means of connecting inward and using the calm inside of us. This respite is a holy opportunity to explore fully pursuits we may have overlooked, such meditation, writing, or just silence and appreciation of our surroundings. This blackout affects our own energy fields, thereby influencing not only the physical, but also the metaphysical aspects of our life. Without the diversion of technology, we have the perfect chance to cultivate attentive present, to genuinely listen to our ideas and emotions and trace their sources. Over these days, we relearn the need of really living in the simplicity of today. From there, we start to reconstruct our daily routines in a more harmonic manner with an eye toward balance and thanks. This pause from the crazed information flow is a gift to our hearts and brains that helps us to reset and rethink what is important. Although the first anguish of technology absence is unavoidable, we quickly find that this seeming gap is bursting with opportunities for development and self-discovery. This is a unique opportunity to discover the depth of our human relationships, better know ourselves, and recall the power contained in silence. It is essential to have a good attitude about what seems to be a difficulty while we get ready for this event. We have choice for receptivity instead of fear. This is a time of metamorphosis, when we may at last eliminate out-of-use old behaviors and practices. We have the opportunity to consciously and meaningfully renew our links with the earth. Following this road helps us to come out stronger, more precisely in line with one another, and with the earth we call home. Entering these 3 days of forced detachment, We are invited to use this experience as a gateway of spiritual development and personal insight. It is a call to embrace behaviors that increase our internal resilience and help us to approach our own nature. We have the chance to rethink our connection with technology and deliberately choose which aspects of this digital conversation we choose to keep in our life, free from the continual clamor of alerts and under pressure of being always connected. This darkness almost poetically teaches us the skill of separation. We are urged to dig within and develop a closer, more real connection with ourselves without technology at our hands to cover brief emotional holes. This is a moment to learn introspection and pay attention to the inner voices we often ignore in the din of daily life. Away from contemporary distractions, we might rediscover hobbies and activities that really satisfy and delight us while we negotiate this moment of change. This is also a great chance for us to grow in our contacts with other individuals. Being physically present, free from technology, helps us to have a closer, more meaningful relationship with those around us. When we free ourselves from the screens, real talks with great empathy and understanding inevitably follow. This is a moment to value the little deed of being with one other and rediscover the beauty of human ties that endure outside of wires and electromagnetic waves. This blackout reminds us very strongly of the need of balance. Though amazing in its capacity to connect and enlighten, technology also has a tendency to keep us apart from our core and actual passions. Being obliged to stop helps us to see how we want to balance our digital and real life going forward. When we get out of this era, we will be clear about how to most use technology to enhance rather than stifle our human experience. Meditating, practicing mindfulness, and connecting with nature help us to re-energize our being as well. The lack of electronic diversion lets us experience a kind of stillness not very common in our contemporary life. This peace is rich for introspection and spiritual insight acquisition that could direct our course. It is an open invitation to tune in to the ancient knowledge that every one of us carries and match our life to the natural cycles of the earth and the universe. We are different when, at last, the globe comes alive once again and appliances begin to run. Days spent in the dark taught us lessons and insights that we are ready to use in our everyday life. We come out knowing more about living deliberately, linked to our particular essence and the surroundings. This blackout is the impetus for a deeper change within our grasp, ready to be included into our life with fresh purpose and intention, not just a passing hiatus. Gradually returning to our daily lives, we might find ourselves approaching our gadgets from a different angle. The blackout's quiet break helps us to better appreciate the necessary equilibrium between the digital world and the physical surroundings. This pause reminds us of the need of setting reasonable boundaries on our use of technology, thus making sure it is a tool to enhance our life rather than a replacement for real relationships and conscious present. There is a great chance to apply the internal modifications that have surfaced during this period of halt in the next days, including times of meditation, thanksgiving, and environmental connection can help us to be more deliberate in choosing our everyday activities. This deliberate practice helps us to connect with the ultimate purpose many of us yearn for, therefore enabling each day to start and finish with awareness and inner calm. We are aware that we may generate intervals of peace and contemplation even amid the fast pace of contemporary life. The principles learned during blackout also apply to our contacts with others. More major and real connections result from the great awareness and respect we develop in moments of great connection free from digital distractions. Our contacts are fueled by a fresh capacity to actively listen and to express ourselves truthfully. Conversations are deeper. We appreciate the subdued beauty of shared events more profoundly as we know that these relationships really feed our soul. This event also helps us to consider adaptability and resilience. We are reminded of the ability we have to overcome fresh problems and discover beauty in unexpected events. The stop in technology has taught us that we are more capable of what we dream, ready to meet obstacles with elegance and inventiveness. bringing this newly learned resilience from becoming ready to face future changes with bravery and optimism, understanding that every difficulty is a veiled chance for development and change. When we consider the larger significance of this blackout, we see that it presents a glimpse of the kind of world we may deliberately build. A future in which we coexist peacefully with technology, giving real human connection top priority, and a return to what is fundamental top importance. This harmony helps us to go away from constant distractions and toward the events that really strengthen our spirit. Choosing this road helps us to create a life directed by purpose, in line with the most fundamental truths we came across when the lights went off. We are more suited now to create in our life alterations that speak to our most true nature. That the clarity and perspective we get during the days without technology help us to reach a more clear and important future. With this fresh perspective, we keep on constantly knowing that the solutions we are looking for are usually inside ourselves, only waiting for the stillness required for hearing. Together, we are ready to build a world that represents what is actual and most beautiful in our common human soul. The approaching technological blackout will be a singular and transforming event, a chance for every one of us to rethink our values and way of life. Imagine a world without the continuous presence of the displays and electronics that divert us so much and that become so frequently an extension of ourselves. We will have to deal with the lack of these contemporary conveniences for these 3 days, which will cause many people to first be perplexed, maybe even worry. On the other hand, this forced interruption might be seen as a gift from the universe, a time to consider what is important in our life. In this situation, we start to wonder if our actual spiritual goals were not lost along the road, and whether the relationships we build are sincere. This period of reflection will be like a thorough spiritual housekeeping. Often carried without awareness, the strong energy we carry will find release and provide fresh chances for development and self-discovery. We will be summoned to reconnect with what really counts: our relationships, our aspirations, our inner calm, thereby separating the distractions of the digital world. We start to see the need of being present, deliberately and consciously live, by separating from the constant cacophony of technology. Here comes the main task assigned to the selected ones. These folks are very important in this process of transformation, as they already resonate in a higher frequency and in line with pure energies. The selected ones have the power to build energy buildings, known as 𖣔READ, which will assist communities during this difficult era. They are like lighthouse of knowledge and peace. Their prayers and good intentions will help to bring stability and peace among seeming anarchy. Like anchors, these enlightened people are securely anchored to retain the boat of faith while the waves surround. Having the selected ones in our life will provide us stability, therefore enabling us to remain calm and hopeful. Your comments and deeds will serve as a potent reminder that we are not negotiating this change by ourselves. With His direction, together we may bravely and deliberately traverse this process, learning to trust the flow of the universe and to accept changes with an open heart. As we sail toward this swirl, we will be motivated to come together in community and forge stronger, more real links. Far from a just unpleasant occurrence, this blackout is a great chance for mental and spiritual rejuvenation. It will compel us to consider, challenge, and rethink our actual values. The selected ones will assist us to discover light and darkness and grow a fresh awareness of the connectivity between all entities, therefore guiding us in these challenging times. We will advance to a new world where love, compassion, and knowledge are our compass from behind the shadows of anxiety and uncertainty. 3 days later, we are backborn with fresh clarity and a stronger sense of purpose. We have discovered that, in the lack of digital distractions, we may find space for what is real and enduring. We start to see the effects of our decisions and match our spiritual purpose more closely. This is a leap of faith that urges us to be courageous, to welcome the metamorphosis, and to reconnect with the immensity of the cosmos and the limitless possibilities that every one of us has. Walking this road together reminds us that actual strength comes from unity and relentless search of a better and brighter life. As we come out of this era of technical darkness today, we have the uncommon chance to genuinely reinvent ourselves. This period of forced reflection has helped us to see our reliance on digital technologies from a different angle and motivated us to give concrete and important top priority. We have traveled a road where we rediscover the significance of close relationships and real presence, and find in the challenges a possibility of spiritual and emotional rejuvenation. During this process, the selected ones not only provided direction, but also live models of the changing power of inner light in the middle of uncertainty. Their kind deeds and energy helped the disturbed thoughts and emotions to settle down, therefore providing a safe environment in which everyone could find equilibrium. The building of a fresh, more mindful and inclusive social fabric depends on this function. Inspired by their calm and clarity, many could see the possibilities in collaboration and mutual assistance from fresh angles. We are asked to continue on the customs and introspection that got us through this phase, even as we begin post-Apagan life. We might deliberately decide to include more times of stillness and introspection in our daily life, as we know that these are the places where we discover original ideas and creativity. Though it has its place, technology should not interfere with the connections and presence of spirit we foster. We now know that one may live and thrive without the constant interruptions that usually control our hours. The understanding we acquire helps us to reinterpret modernism. Our digital contacts will be more deliberate. We will choose those that help us to better grasp the surroundings. 3 days of darkness have given us a unique clarity about what is really necessary, which has helped us to make more mindful and aligned decisions in line with our own and society development. It is amazing to see how layers of toughness and fortitude surface we were not aware of in times of difficulty. This blackout gave us the inner illumination as well as robbed us of the electric light. We leave this enlightened experience knowing that the quality of the events we choose to live and create defines our life, not by any gadget. We understand the importance of the breaks, as these are where fresh ideas are sown. Now, as we advance, we do this with a clear picture of the type of society we want to create, rather than with closed eyes. A society that honors pauses and presence, which stresses contemplation and search for real connection above everything. Knowing that the real substance of life is in harmonizing our inner core with the great and wondrous cosmos around us, we are ready to create the next chapter supported by the lessons learned and directed by the lights the selected ones portrayed. And thus we begin a new age when human potential blossom in its most natural and magnificent grandeur. Now, by crossing the line of arrival of this profound awareness, it is hard not to acknowledge the great worth that every one of us has given to this process of change. We carry in our core the knowledge gained in these days of introspection, a knowledge that inspires us to be more deliberate and accountable for our everyday decisions and contacts. This blackout was a sharp reminder that while our often overburdened routines might hide what really matters, it also shows that change is within our grasp if we embrace the present moment with confidence and bravery. The bonds we create or strengthen throughout this period become the pillars of a new society run under empathy and understanding. Cooperatively, we may create not just a more aware, but also a more robust and sustainable future. One guiding thread that helps us to remain linked to the universal spirit that ties all things, the community around us, and ourselves is gratitude. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, and every act of solidarity that helped us negotiate this uncharted ground is much valued. We are carriers of a fresh vision and a new dedication to live a life that represents the principles we reconsider during darkness, as life returns to a family environment. We are invited to be the designers of a time where technology exists to assist mankind without stifling our human nature. As we discover, innovation can and ought to accompany conscience and responsibility. We may welcome technology developments without compromising human well-being and connection, therefore striking a balance that lets everyone flourish. Realizing how we uncover the clarity of the deepest truths amid solitude and darkness is fascinating. We come out with a fresh respect for simplicity, as we understand that actual richness is a soul at peace and an open heart. We publish the art of listening, of being present, and of nourishing our soul with enough all around us. When we gather once again in the light, we carry with us a clarity of intent and a will to sustain the harmony so valiantly defending against the waves of turmoil. We therefore go forth knowing that, taken collectively, we are smarter and stronger. We turn the lessons of darkness into priceless rules that will guide us as we keep blazing a road towards a society in which spirituality, technology, and humanity live in perfect synchrony. This is the legacy we leave. Upon it, we created the basis of a fresh period of peace and illumination for next generations. We discover the light within us amid the darkness of the unknown, and this special brilliance may brighten not only our own path, but also the one of the planet. The chapter you sent asks us to consider the vital part the selected path of transition to a new territory plays. At first look, the concept of a technological blackout may sound frightening, particularly in a society in which technology shapes everything so heavily. Still, this little disruption is suggested as a veiled gift, a required trigger for spiritual development. It is a call to confront anxiety with faith in the spiritual leaders, guiding us through this phase of change. They help us to look beyond seeming anarchy and see that this darkness is really the forerunner of a collective awakening. It's fascinating to see how technology, which so often separates from others and ourselves, is taken out of the mix so that a closer relationship with our inner self and the divine may take place. Considered as a real awakening, this electronic quiet opens a venue where we may at last hear our inner voice. The society may go into more contemplation and feel more in line with divine purpose without continuous cacophony from modern equipment. Imagine what it would be like to run out of emails and social networks without constant pressure to keep current or react instantly to communications. This forced stop may really help us to reach a condition of tranquility and mental clarity, therefore enabling us to practice meditation and prayer with fresh intensity. Lack of technology may be a perfect platform for us to recover our faith and deepen our relationship with what we consider to be bigger than ourselves. This concept nearly seems to me as a communal purifying ceremony in which we are invited to let go of anything that no longer benefits us. This idea of blackout, temporary exile of the digital world, also has the power to bind us as a species. By realizing that real wealth is in our connections and in the spiritual connection we may create, together confronting this new reality, we can develop solidarity and empathy instead of materialism or unfettered consumerism. The idea of a worldwide spiritual cleansing really connects with our desire to release ourselves from the bonds holding us to lesser energy frequencies. It is an invitation to reject the concerns and worries that so often confine us, and instead welcome a future shaped by love, compassion, and mutual understanding. This idea of regeneration gives me great hope and inspiration, as it assures us that, at the conclusion of this time of technological purification, we will be more in line with our actual selves and with our part in this great planet. The vision of a new country implies that despite the first difficulties, we are moving toward a society in which spirituality takes front stage and directs our choices and behavior. It's amazing to consider that this big darkness is a fortunate strike. It presents a viewpoint wherein there is always a better reason and chances for spiritual development even in the worst circumstances. Looking at this situation, I see a future in which our priorities are changed and the feeling of community is rebuilt as consciousness of what truly counts comes to light. Once embraced and understood, the technological halt may serve as a potent reminder of our actual nature and the inherent connectivity of all things, therefore acting as a potent stimulus for healing and group spiritual ascent. Though definitely, the required modifications may be regarded as a challenge as well as a chance for personal development and beyond our present constraints. In the end, this chapter asks us to welcome the unknown, knowing that this road of temporary darkness will bring us more and more important illumination. This scenario results in a fresh optimism that, at the conclusion of this cycle of transition, A more aware, compassionate, and spiritual humanity will rise, ready to embrace a new territory full of possibilities and purpose. Considering this perspective of the new earth, we are asked to contemplate the great relevance of those who stand out as the selected ones, or spiritual leaders, in this process of metamorphosis. These people are seen as guardians who, among the supposed anarchy of blackout, retain light on others, figuratively and spiritually. They show us how we could ground our life within spiritual principles, despite the outside events in flux, therefore guiding us towards genuine strength and resilience from inside. The concept that we may change and grow into the best versions of ourselves, even in the face of such fresh and unknown obstacles, inspires me much. Therefore, the technological blackout reveals our actual potential, rather than just causes a disturbance of the assured services. Turning off the outside sources of distraction seems as if we may link our own awareness and thereby reignite the divine spark that resides in each of us. Moving away from the continuous cacophony and letting ourselves listen to the messages of our emotions and intuition can help us to access the depth of ideas. This new reality presents a hitherto unheard of chance for reflection, which lets us challenge our priorities and match our life with more moral goals. We are essentially going back to the fundamentals as we embrace this technological break, saving historic customs of connection with the spiritual who were lost in our relentless quest of development and invention. This return to the basics reflects a communal cleansing in which we let go out-of-date ideas and behaviors that no longer serve our best advantage. This spiritual cleansing procedure provides a blank chalkboard and an opportunity to reinterpret the story of mankind with more aware behavior and better objectives. We are thereby actively co-creating a new, more harmonic and enlightened world, not merely passive waiting for change. We shall discover as we follow this road of change how we see time and what we should concentrate on our energy. A practical lesson in the art of being present, the darkness reminds us of the here and now. This kind of presence is a bridge for a more fulfilled and balanced existence, not just a survival technique. We can actually focus our time and effort to what is spiritually feeding us and elevates us without the continuous interruptions of alerts, emails, or trends on social networks. We are therefore in a situation wherein everything is discovering our actual nature. From this perspective, the selected ones not only set an example, but also motivate a tsunami of changes, including everyone who is ready to wake up. They inspire us to believe in the process, to welcome the road with faith, and to help one another as we travel toward a greater collective. Awareness. Every action we do in this direction expresses our desire to live in balance with the cosmos and one another. This phase of metamorphosis is therefore both a gift and a hardship at once. It presents a challenge as it makes us face our shadows and go beyond our comfort zones. A gift as it gives us the means and environment required to get beyond these constraints and find the light inside of us. This is ultimately a call to every one of us to acknowledge our ability to bring about change and to lead lives based in love, compassion, and connectivity. Beyond this transforming event, what lies ahead is a rebuilt world in which spirituality becomes the basic framework by which all life is experienced and valued. This vision not only makes one hopeful, but also motivates action as it invites every one of us to help to create a new planet in which we may all blossom in our full spiritual capacity.